You hear it all the time, right? That AI is going to create this massive new wave of wealth. But is that what's really happening? Today, we're going to dig into a really critical question. Is AI actually making the whole pie bigger, or is it just slicing it up differently? Let's get into it.
I mean, this promise is everywhere. The idea that AI is about to unleash a whole new era of prosperity, creating wealth on a scale we've never seen before. It's the big, shiny, optimistic sales pitch for the future we're all supposedly headed towards. But here's where we've got to hit the pause button and ask, is this really new wealth we're talking about? Or is AI just a super powerful tool for shifting money from one group to another, say from the people who work to the people who own? Because, let's be real, those two outcomes, they lead to completely different futures for all of us.
All right, so to really get to the bottom of this, we first have to agree on something basic. What does creating wealth actually mean?
And honestly, at its core, it's a pretty simple idea. You create real wealth when you figure out how to produce more value, more stuff, better services, new solutions, using the same amount of resources, or maybe even less. It's all about true innovation and getting more efficient, not just, moving money from one pocket to another.
And look, this isn't the first time we've seen a massive technological leap, right? Factories let us make more things than ever before. Computers totally transformed productivity in the office. The internet made it practically free to communicate and share information. Each one of those was a genuine, wealth-creating leap. So the big question on everyone's mind is AI the next giant step in that chain?
Okay, but here's where it gets complicated. To really get what AI is doing, we have to look at this tension, this gap that's been growing for decades now, and it's right at the heart of this whole debate.
See, here's the thing. Just because a country or a company gets more productive, that doesn't automatically mean everyone gets a piece of the pie. Even when we're creating more value, it doesn't mean workers are going to see it in their paychecks. Actually, what we've seen is that wages can just stay flat or even go down.
And this chart, man, this shows you exactly what I'm talking about. For the last few decades, productivity has just shot through the roof. We're making more stuff more efficiently than ever. But then you look at what people are actually being paid, and it's barely budged. This huge gap proves that all that new wealth that's being created, it's just not trickling down to the people doing the work. And this is why AI feels so charged, so different. It's not that AI created this problem out of thin air. Nope. It's more like it's pouring gasoline on a fire that's been burning for a long, long time. AI has the potential to make that gap between productivity and pay way wider, way faster than anything we've ever seen before.
So, okay, if the money isn't flowing to the workers, then where is it all going? Who's actually cashing in on this AI boom?
Well, it turns out the biggest winners are the companies that already have a massive head start. We're talking about three key things here. They have the mountains of data needed to train AI, they have the capital, the cash, to invest in all that computing power, and they have the scale to roll these tools out to millions of customers. And what this does is it creates these two totally separate tracks, two completely different paths. On one path, if you own the key assets, the AI models, the cloud platforms, the computing infrastructure, then AI acts like a turbocharger for your wealth. But if you're on the other path, where you make a living by selling your labor, well, AI often just means more pressure on your income. Which brings us to a really crucial point. AI is basically playing two different roles in our economy right now. One is redistributing the money that's already there, and the other is creating brand new wealth. Let's see how that works. If you look at what most companies are actually doing with AI right now, it's not about inventing some mind-blowing new product that's going to change the world. Nope. For the most part, it's being used as a super efficient, cost-cutting machine. It's about making their current operations cheaper. And the playbook is pretty simple, right? First, you use AI to automate tasks that people used to do. Second, your company's costs go down, mostly because your payroll gets smaller. And third, that money doesn't just disappear. It gets moved from the salaries column over to the profits column, which mostly benefits the owners and shareholders. And this is the absolute key takeaway. Bumping up your profits because you cut your labor costs, that's not creating new wealth. It's not a bigger pie. That's just taking a slice from the employees and giving it to the owners. That's redistribution, plain and simple. So let's just lay it out side by side. On one hand, you have AI the redistributor, which is what we're seeing a lot of in the short term, automating tasks, cutting expenses. But on the other hand, you have the long-term promise.
AI the creator. This is the AI that could help us invent new products, open up totally new markets, and maybe even solve these massive, expensive problems, stuff in climate science or medicine that we just couldn't crock before.
And this split personality of AI, this is exactly why the whole conversation feels so uneven, so polarized. It's because the technology is both incredibly exciting and, at the same time, deeply threatening, depending on where you stand. I mean, you can see how this plays out across the board. The big financial benefits, they're getting concentrated right at the very top. The disruption, the jobs getting changed or replaced, that's hitting the middle class the hardest. And all of that creates this wave of anxiety that just washes over everyone else.
So why? Why is it so unbalanced? Well, it goes back to something really fundamental about how our economy is set up. At the end of the day, the system rewards ownership way, way more than it rewards simple participation. Owning the asset, whether it's a factory or a piece of software or an AI model, is where the real money is made. So let's circle all the way back to where we started. Is AI creating wealth? The honest answer is yeah, technically. But the much more important reality is that right now, its main job seems to be moving money, and moving it faster than ever to the people who already own the whole system. And that leaves all of us with the one question that really truly matters. Because look, the tech is going to keep getting better. That's a given. The real fight, the real choice, is about who gets to benefit from all that progress. And that answer, it's not written in stone. It's a choice that we are all making together right now.